Welcome to Time Pilgrimage, where we journey through the fascinating world of astronomy. Picture this. You step outside, and instead of one sun setting in the west, there are two, maybe even three. And when night falls, a constellation of moons appears, each one a distinct size, each one casting its own unique glow. Sounds like something out of a science fiction novel, doesn't it? But what if we told you this is more than just a figment of the imagination? In the vast expanse of our universe, there are indeed places where multiple suns hang in the sky and numerous moons orbit the same planet. It's a concept that appears alien to us, accustomed as we are to our solitary sun and lone moon. But it's a reality for some celestial bodies out there. Imagine how different life would be on a planet that dances to the tune of multiple suns and moons. Now let's embark on a mental voyage to such a world. How would it feel to experience more than one sunrise and sunset in a day? Would the presence of numerous moons create a perpetual dusk? Or would the nights be as bright as our days? The implications of such a scenario are vast and varied, affecting everything from our daily routines to our biological clocks. Think about the challenges we might face with extreme weather patterns, disrupted ecosystems, and radical changes in timekeeping. Yet there's also an undeniable beauty in the idea of multiple sunsets and sunrises, unique celestial alignments, and the profound impact such a shift would have on cultural beliefs and traditions. It's an intriguing concept, isn't it? But it's more than just an exercise in imagination. Understanding these scenarios can expand our perspective on the universe and our place within it. So, fasten your mental seatbelts and prepare for a journey unlike any other. Join us as we explore the impact of this concept on our world. Before we dive in, let's understand the basic astronomy behind multiple suns and moons. The universe is a vast and intriguing place, brimming with countless celestial bodies. In the grand scheme of things, our single sun and moon might seem a bit lonely. But did you know that many stars in the universe are part of multiple star systems? A binary star system is one where two stars orbit around a common center of mass. This is like a cosmic dance where two stellar bodies, bound by gravitational attraction, revolve around each other. Now imagine these celestial dancers increasing in number. Yes, there are star systems out there with 3, 4, or even more stars dancing together. Now let's bring moons into the picture. Just as our Earth orbits the sun, moons orbit planets. And similar to how planets can have multiple moons like Jupiter with its 92 known moons, planets can also orbit more than one star. These planets are known as circumbinary planets. Picture this, a world where the night sky is filled with multiple moons, each with its own unique features and patterns, casting different shadows and illuminating the landscape in a myriad of ways. Then as dawn breaks, not one but two or more suns begin to rise, each casting its own distinct glow on the world below. But how would such a system work? The stars in a binary or multiple star system orbit a common center of mass. This center of mass, also known as the barycenter, is the point where the combined mass of the stars is equally distributed. It's like a balancing point. In the case of a circumbinary planet, it orbits around this barycenter. This means that from the perspective of such a planet, the stars would appear to orbit each other while the planet itself orbits the pair. In a system with multiple moons, each moon would orbit the planet independently, creating a complex and ever-changing pattern of celestial bodies in the sky. Now you might be wondering, could such a system be stable? The answer is yes. In fact, astronomers have discovered several circumbinary planets in stable orbits around their parent stars. But it's not all smooth sailing. The gravitational interactions between the stars and planets can lead to some really complex orbits. These orbits can be elliptical, causing the distance between the stars and the planet to change over time. This could lead to significant variations in temperature, light, and radiation on the planet's surface. And what about the moons? Well, they too would have their own orbits, which could be influenced by the gravitational pull of the stars and other moons. This could result in fascinating celestial ballets, with moons crisscrossing paths and even eclipsing each other. So, in a world with multiple suns and moons, the dance of celestial bodies would be a mesmerizing spectacle, a symphony of light and shadow, of rise and set, of ebb and flow. Now that we have a basic understanding of astronomy, let's explore the potential effects on our world. Multiple suns and moons could lead to a variety of challenges. A world with multiple suns and moons would be different in many ways, not least of which would be the challenges it would pose to the world as we know it. Firstly, let's consider the weather. At present, our weather patterns are largely influenced by the tilt of the Earth's axis and its rotation around the sun. Now imagine, if you will, a world with more than one sun and moon. The gravitational pull from these celestial bodies would create more complex tides and weather patterns. This could result in extreme weather phenomena such as super hurricanes, hyper tsunamis, or even new types of weather that we have no concept of today. Alongside these changes in weather, we'd also see significant shifts in our ecosystems. Life on Earth has evolved to adapt to our current day-night cycle and the seasons that result from our planet's tilt as it orbits the sun. More suns could mean more heat and light, potentially leading to harsher environments. Meanwhile, multiple moons could drastically affect the tides, impacting marine life in unpredictable ways. This disruption could lead to the extinction of certain species, while others might adapt and thrive in this new world. And speaking of day-night cycles, let's not forget about timekeeping. For millennia, humans have relied on the sun and the moon to keep track of time. We have divided our days into 24 hours, based on the Earth's rotation relative to the sun. Our months roughly correspond to the moon's orbit around the Earth. Now introduce multiple suns and moons into the equation, and our current system of timekeeping would be thrown into chaos. We might need to come up with new ways of measuring time based on the movements of these additional celestial bodies. But the challenges wouldn't stop there. Think about how the presence of multiple suns and moons could affect agriculture. The additional sunlight could lead to longer growing seasons, which might sound beneficial at first. However, the increased light and heat could also make the environment too harsh for certain crops to survive. On the other hand, multiple moons could create more periods of darkness, which could affect the photosynthesis process in plants. And let's not forget about the impact on human behavior. Our sleep cycles, also known as circadian rhythms, are regulated by the light and darkness provided by our sun and moon. More suns could mean less sleep, while more moons could mean more darkness and potentially more sleep. The changes in sleep patterns could then affect our health, productivity, and overall lifestyle. The presence of multiple suns and moons would also have profound effects on our cultural beliefs and traditions. Many cultures around the world have myths, legends, and rituals tied to the sun and the moon. With more of these celestial bodies in our sky, existing beliefs could be challenged and new traditions might emerge. A world with multiple suns and moons would present a host of challenges, from extreme weather patterns and disrupted ecosystems to changes in timekeeping and human behavior. But it's important to remember that these are hypothetical scenarios based on our current understanding of astronomy and biology. Despite these challenges, there could also be unique and beautiful scenarios. So stay tuned as we explore the unique scenarios that could arise from living in a world with multiple suns and moons. Now let's delve into the unique scenarios that could come into play in a world with multiple suns and moons. It's not just about the awe-inspiring views of numerous sunrises and sunsets, but also about the profound effects on agriculture, wildlife, and human behavior. Firstly, think about agriculture. The presence of multiple suns could potentially revolutionize farming. With more sunlight, photosynthesis would occur at a much higher rate. The crops could grow faster, and the harvests could be more abundant. But there's another side to it. Too much sunlight could also scorch the crops, and the extended periods of light could disrupt their growth cycle. Farmers would need to adapt, developing new species of plants that can thrive under such conditions. As for the moons, imagine a world where tides are influenced by more than one moon. The interplay between the gravitational forces of multiple moons could lead to complex tide patterns, affecting not only the coastal farming but also the marine life. Speaking of life, let's move on to wildlife. Animals, particularly those that are nocturnal or crepuscular, rely heavily on the sun and moon cycles. In a world with multiple suns and moons, their behaviors could drastically change. Some animals could become more active, while others could retreat further into the shadows. The complexity of ecosystems could increase exponentially, leading to the evolution of new species adapted to these unique conditions. Now, let's consider the impact on human behavior. Our daily routines are based largely on the cycle of a single sun and moon. With multiple suns, would we sleep in shifts to avoid the excessive heat of the midday suns? Would our concept of a day need to be redefined? And how about our calendars and timekeeping systems? They would need to be radically redesigned to accommodate the new celestial cycles, not to mention the effects on our culture and traditions. Many cultures around the world have beliefs and traditions tied to the sun and moon. With multiple suns and moons, new myths and legends could arise. New festivals could be celebrated to mark the unique celestial alignments. Art, literature, and music could flourish, inspired by the extraordinary beauty of this new world. Imagine the spectacle of multiple sunsets and sunrises, each with its own unique hue, bathing the world in a kaleidoscope of colors. And at night, the sight of multiple moons, each in a different phase, casting their ethereal glow on the landscape below. The sky would be a canvas of constantly changing patterns, a celestial ballet that never ceases to amaze. And then there are the unique celestial alignments. Imagine a world where solar and lunar eclipses are common occurrences, where the transit of one sun across another is a regular spectacle, where the conjunction of moons lights up the night sky in a dazzling display. The sky would be a perpetual source of wonder and fascination, a testament to the grandeur of the cosmos. Such scenarios might sound far-fetched, but they are not beyond the realm of possibility. In the vast expanse of the universe, there are likely to be planets with multiple suns and moons. Who knows? One day, we might even discover a world that mirrors these scenarios. And most importantly, it would be a world that reminds us of the infinite possibilities that lie beyond our own pale blue dot. We've taken a fascinating journey, imagining a world where our sky is graced not with one sun and one moon, but with multiple celestial bodies. We've delved into the basic astronomy behind such a scenario, considering the gravitational pull and the complex orbital patterns that multiple suns and moons would create. And the sight of multiple suns setting and rising, and moons waxing and waning would undoubtedly be a sight to behold, sparking new cultural beliefs and traditions. Such a world would be vastly different from the one we know. Timekeeping, as we understand it, might become obsolete, or at least incredibly complex. Human behavior could change dramatically, with sleep patterns and daily routines needing to be redefined. What would it be like to live under a sky lit by multiple suns and moons? The answers lie in the realm of imagination and the infinite expanses of the cosmos. We've pondered the challenges such a world might face and marveled at the unique scenarios it could present. There are countless more celestial wonders waiting to be discovered, more what-ifs to be pondered, and more fascinating journeys to be embarked upon. And we want you to be a part of every single one of them. So if you haven't already, hit that subscribe button and join us in our time pilgrimage. And while you're at it, why not give this video a like? It's a small act, but it sends a powerful message that you're with us on this journey, exploring the vast and beautiful cosmos, one question at a time. Your thoughts, ideas, and insights are invaluable to us. How do you think it would affect our lives, our cultures, our world? And if there are other celestial what-ifs that you're curious about, let us know. We're always looking for new and fascinating questions to explore. Remember, the universe is full of wonders waiting to be discovered. It's a vast, beautiful mystery that beckons us to explore, to learn, to wonder. Until next time, keep looking up, keep wondering, and keep exploring.